So I'm going to start with my novel. My novel is We Are All Made of Molecules by Susan Nielsen. I don't know what I just said there.
Don't give too much away, I'm reading it.
We've already kind of talked about Susan Nielsen a little bit in some of our other book talks. So we know that she started off writing for Degrassi and Degrassi Junior High. And then she moved into young adult novels. So she has We Are All Made of Molecules, and the other one is George Clooney, Please Marry My Mom. We talked about that one as well in our speed dating exercises. So I have a little bit, just this slide here. It's for more information about Susan and her novels. So I'm assuming you guys are children in this book talk, so I say ask a parent's permission before you go online. And then you can go on and visit her homepage, which is just susannielsen.com, and go check out her blog. It's really awesome because she did a year abroad in Spain and a year abroad in France as well. So she's got lots of culture, lots of different background. And then you can also see information about her other novels, and you can see like the foreign book covers and how all of her novels have been translated into 6 different languages, so they're all over the world. So it's really cool to go look at it if you want to go check it out. So what is the book about? So I'm just going to read this. This is straight off Susan's website, all right? 13-year-old Stuart is academically brilliant but socially clueless. 14-year-old Ashley is the undisputed it girl in her grade, but her marks stink. Their worlds are about to collide when Stuart and his dad move in with Ashley and her mom. The Brady Bunch, it isn't. Stuart is trying to be 89.9% happy about it, but Ashley is 110% horrified. She already has to hide the real reason her dad moved out. Stuart could further threaten her position at the top of the social ladder. They are complete opposites, and yet, no matter their differences, they share one thing in common. They, like the rest of us, are all made of molecules. In this hilarious yet deeply moving story, award-winning author Susan Nielsen has created 2 narrators who will steal your heart and make you laugh out loud. So, basically what it's about is Ashley and Stuart. So Ashley and her mom, Ashley's dad comes out of the closet, and there's a little bit of situation there, a little bit of difficulties there in the family dealing with it. Ashley doesn't want to tell her friends, doesn't want to tell anybody about it, so she's just saying her parents had problems. Oh, sorry, this is not supposed to start yet. And then Stuart and his dad, their mom passed away, so they're dealing with that. They're having a lot of problems with that. It's only been about a year, so they're dealing with that. So they're both dealing with lots of things, and the chapters flip back and forth between Stuart as the narrator and Ashley as the narrator, but oftentimes they'll talk about the same day, the same situations, first from Stuart's perspective and then from Ashley's perspective. So I have a couple reviews. So this one is a video. 1 Minute Books is a librarian. She's a librarian that focuses solely on young adult literature, and she talks about different books in 1 minute only. So I'll show you guys this one just because it's only 1 minute. Can you hear that okay?
The story is about 2 kids who are almost like his dad was his mom by friends, and Ashley just loses the mom because her parents are divorced and that's her dad. Ashley and Stuart's parents fall in love with each other, so they decide that they have to live together, which is great in some ways. I mean, Stuart really thinks he'll be fun because he's with his sister. The parents are excited about it. Ashley's really angry about it. She thinks that Stuart is really smart, is kind of weird, and she's really clever, she's worried that that's going to mess her. When I first started reading this, I almost stopped because the female stuff was a lot. But I changed my mind about working the way through. Because even though Ashley is not a very bad character, she doesn't do it believable, and it's different sometimes. This is a good read. If you read this book, please post a comment below.
So here, Mary, our librarian, gives it 4 out of 5 stars, and she says it would be good for ages 12 and up, which I also agree with. Also going with Robin's rule about how old is the main character. Stuart and Ashley are 13 and 14 years old, so 12, 13, 14, kind of in that area is where you would use this book. Okay, so I also agree, she mentions in there how there's a lot of kind of girly cattiness around Ashley, and she at first didn't really like Ashley's character. I also found that when I was reading that I didn't really like Ashley's character at the beginning, But you grow to love her. And Stuart is hilarious. He's the best character in this whole book. So here's another review that I have from The Guardian. So just a couple of things that I pulled out. You don't need to read the whole review if you want to. This presentation is on my Weebly. At the end I have a links page where you can go and read all these reviews. So the first one, it says connected to Stuart and then soon saw a better side of her, talking about Stuart and Ashley, which are the things that I connected with as well because I really love Stuart and I kind of didn't like Ashley at the beginning. And then it says heartwarming, funny, and adorable, which I also thought was really good and really represented the book well. And my last one is from Quill and Choir, and it says, drama, humor, poignancy, and suspense are rarely found in such perfect proportions as in Governor General's Literary Award winner Susan Nielsen's new novel about a teen odd couple forced together in a blended family situation. Nielsen is a master at eliciting sympathy for her characters, especially Ashley, whose vulnerabilities, once exposed, mitigate her outward bitchiness. A touching, unexpected alliance between Stuart and Ashley's dad is another of the novel's enjoyable surprises. So here's why I enjoyed it. I think it's really humorous and that it's relatable for both boys and girls, and that there's also lots of good life lessons and morals. So I've got all those parts, examples of those things flagged for you guys. So the first one I'm going to read is something I found kind of funny. I don't know, I read it out loud to my brother and he didn't think it was funny, but we'll see. Alright. On Sunday, after a massive blueberry pancake breakfast, courtesy of my dad, and after we had put all the plates into the dishwasher so Caroline wouldn't have a heart attack, Alistair and I went Christmas shopping. We both hate shopping, so we decided to try to buy everything we needed in one place. And because we were on tight budgets, we decided that our first stop should be the thrift store on Main Street. We hit the mother lode. I bought, for Caroline, her very own Royal Dalton figurine. It's a statuette of a boy fishing, and you can hardly notice that one of his hands is missing. Price, $5. For Dad, an eye-catching navy tie with yellow and red penguins all over it. Price, $4. For Alistair, when he wasn't looking, I found a travel chess set with all the pieces. Price, $5. For Phoebe, I found a brooch in the glass display case by the counter. It's a unicorn. It's made of brushed metal and it's painted purple and yellow. I'm sure she will love it. Price, $8, but Phoebe is worth it. For Ashley, I finally settled on a fluffy gray and white pair of cat slippers. The cat faces have whiskers and everything. Because they look brand new, they were my most expensive purchase. Price, $10. Total cost, $32 plus tax. So I think it's funny because of Stuart's relationship with Ashley and also his relationship with Phoebe, which you have to read the book to find out about those different relationships. So an example of how it might be relatable to some of your girl students is right here with Ashley from Ashley's perspective. Then the doorbell rang. Jared. I saw the look that passed between my dad, my mom, and Leonard. They were all dying to lay eyes on him. Stay where you are, I ordered them, and do not embarrass me. I walked to the door, smoothing my dress, and opened it. Jared stood under the porch light. He wore jeans, a long-sleeved white shirt, and a black leather jacket. He looked fantastic. You ready? I am, I said, and grabbed my impractical but cute gray wool coat, ready to take off. Ashley, introduce us to your friend before you go, please, my mom yelled from the dining room. I rolled my eyes. Do you mind? Not at all. So I took him through to the dining room and introduced him. All the grown-ups had totally goofy smiles on their faces. Hey, Jared, Stuart said as he pulled up an extra chair. Take a load off. We're just talking about Phil's job, I almost shouted. He's in advertising. Oh, cool, said Jared, and to my horror, he sat down. So, I think everybody, all the ladies in here can relate to that. And then for relatable to the little boys, or the boys in your class, I don't know, I thought this was a little bit relatable. That's probably a better example, but I couldn't find it. While he hung up his coat, I glanced around his mini house, which didn't take me very long. It was nicely furnished with smaller versions of things, like a love seat instead of a sofa, a tiny end table, a very skinny leather chair, and no kitchen table at all, just 2 bar stools pulled up to a counter. An abstract painting hung on one wall. But by far the most striking feature was a blue and white Shrek road bike hanging from hooks on the opposite wall. Nice wheels. Thanks, I took up road biking last year. I love bicycles. I'm building an electric one with my friend Alistair. Really? Is it for a school project? No, just for fun. Well, that's pretty cool. So I think, you know, with the boys and building and biking and things like that. But one of the more profound ones is the life lessons, and there's lots of them in this book. So here's one of them, all right? Sorry, Michaela, spoiler alert a little bit. Just a little bit. We understand you had a party that got out of control last night, one of the policemen said. Any idea who might have spray painted your dad's house? I'm not proud of what I did next, okay? But in my defense, I already knew that school was going to be a total nightmare when we went back. Ratting Jared out would only make things worse. So I shook my head. No, I can't think of anyone. Stuart looked at me across the table with total 100% absolute disgust. Then he turned to the cops. I can, he said. I know exactly who did it. His name is Jared Mitchell. He told the cops about what Jared had done at his old school. Then he told them everything that had happened the night before. And I mean everything. So that, you know, teaches kids to do the right thing even though it's a little bit harder and things like that. So that's We Are All Made of Molecules. It's super good. I definitely recommend reading it. I wouldn't do a lesson planner at it, but you definitely could. You could do a novel study, especially with all the different things that the book deals with. But I would definitely have it in my classroom library, and if a student came up to me and said, hey, I need something to read, it would definitely be one of my higher recommendations for my students. So now we've got Wild About Us. So my books are kind of related because they both deal about like acceptance and inclusion of others and kind of accepting people's differences. So Wild About Us is written by Karen Beaumont and illustrated by Janet Stevens. So here I just have a little bit of information about them. So Karen Beaumont is the author of tons of different children's books, and she's a New York Times bestselling author. And she's both a writer and a teacher, so she's done lots of like literacy programs for kids as well, kind of like what Robin does. And then Janet Stevens is both an author and an illustrator, and her first book was published in 1979. That's all I can really find about her, but if you want to go read the rest of it, you can go check out my presentation. And there's all the links I used. So I want to read Wild About Us because this is what I did for my lesson plan. It'll be really quick, all right? Here we go. I'm Warty Warthog. Can't be who I'm not. I am who I am, and I've got what I've got. I have tusks, I have warts, but I like what I see. In my own special way, I'm as cute as can be. Yes, sirree. We all are the way we are all meant to be. Crocodile's proud of his big toothy grin. Rhino feels fine in her wrinkly skin. Elephant's confident nothing is wrong. He knows that his nose is supposed to be long. No one laughs at Giraffe because she's lanky and tall. Here at the zoo, there is room for us all. Would you dare tell Flamingo he shouldn't be pink? Or Pot-Bellied Pig, she's too plump, do you think? We never tease Tortoise for being so slow. He's not meant to hurry, or scurry, you know. Does Porcupine care that she can't curl her hair? Is Leopard upset he has spots everywhere? Hippo is happy, she loves her behind. It wiggles, it jiggles, it's one of a kind. She's proud of precisely the way it's designed. Chimp's ears stick out, as you clearly can see. But he thinks they're charming, and we all agree. Kangaroo has huge feet, but you don't see her pout. She has much better things to be thinking about. We're glad we're all different. It would be such a shame if you came to the zoo and we all looked the same. So this is what I built my lesson planner out. So there's lots of outcomes in like health and life skills program of studies for kids about like accepting others, including others no matter what. So what I would do is read the book to the kids, and then I have a little activity sheet where I put them in pairs. And so if you were in pairs together, you would draw a picture of your partner and then write 3 things that you like about them. But it has to be a personal attribute about them. So you can't say, oh, I like Timmy because he has an Xbox. No, that's not about Timmy. You like Timmy because he's good at music or because he's fun to play with, things like that. And then it would be something that we could display on a bulletin board in the hallway so everybody can see. And I called it Wild About Grade 3 because it was my Grade 3 outcomes. And that's it.